Reversal of Man has a famous song about an incident at an Earth Crisis show. The song is Get the Kid with the Sideburns, yes?
Yes.
All right, so hear me out. I had Scott from Earth Crisis on this podcast a while ago.
Awesome.
He told a story about that show, right? Now, if this is okay with you, Jeff, I want to play what he said and then hear your side of the story.
I will do my best because I was not there.
All right, but you have some perspective.
I do. Yeah.
So you can check the story if it's like totally out of whack.
Sure.
All right, I'm going to play the clip. It's like a little over a minute, and then we'll do some commentary.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
There's so much precursor to that incident. There's 2 other times that we played there in Tampa, and these guys are always like heckling and throwing stuff, and it was just constantly that kind of stuff. And it was also other bands that we were friends with were like, I hate going to St. Petersburg. Whenever we go to St. Petersburg, there's this group of kids and they just they heckle and they throw shit. And then if you say something to them or you do anything, then they're the victims, you know? And so this time, much like I was talking about, it was like days beforehand, people were like, oh, well, you know, those guys are going to come and they're going to throw eggs at you. Like when you play, you know, the bottom line is like they were going to throw stuff. They came with bad intentions and then bad stuff happened and they're the victims. Right. You know, so it's like when we got up on stage to play, Carl asked to keep the lights on. Somebody in the crowd yelled something. Next thing you know, we all ran off the stage. We were all getting fights. VOD was mad because these guys were acting like idiots while they were playing. VOD came running out from the backstage room. There was a big fight. Some guy with sideburns tried to kick Carl. Missed him. So Carl jumped on the table and was like, hey, where's that guy with the sideburns? Like in context, it all makes sense. Of course, they changed the narrative to frame it to make us look like we're weirdos. And Carl was just randomly yelling, get the kid with the sideburns. Of course, there's context to the whole thing.
So that's Scott Krause, guitar player of Earth Crisis, giving a recap of that show. Now, Jeff, you weren't there, but I'm sure you know some of the people allegedly involved, and I'm sure you've heard about this over the years. So give us your thoughts.
So I'll give it to them. Tampa, St. Pete, if you came here and played, you're going to get heckled. It was just part of the deal.
Was that like any band or just Earth Crisis or like what was the scene? Like what was
basically the premise was if you are a band that people like, you're getting heckled. You didn't get heckled because of who you were. You got heckled because people liked you. You know,
so it was like an endearing thing, maybe taken the wrong way in some cases.
I think it probably started that way.
Yeah.
The part left out is also a part I wasn't there for. So all I know is stories.
Right.
They had a mutual friend who did something that they didn't agree with, and somebody from Earth Crisis punched him. And when the whole thing with the lights was, I don't remember how that happened because, like I said, I wasn't there. So It's hard for me to say. I just recently saw a video of it, though, online on YouTube. It's pretty funny to see the actual, like, where's the kid with the sideburns line.
Wait, so you can actually hear that in the video?
Oh, yeah. And also, you're at a hardcore show. There's like 85% of the kids here have sideburns, which was kind of the other funny thing about it. But yeah, there was, like you said, there was definitely more context to it, to why it happened.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it, the kid with the sideburns was Matt, our singer.
Yeah.
Who definitely didn't try to kick. He's like the most passive guy in the world. But then there's also John, our drummer, who was there, who's not super passive, also has sideburns. But this particular show, I think everyone showed up wearing like 70s outfits. So, you know, big wigs and colorful bell bottoms and stuff like that. It was just one of the shticks that Tampa had. It was, you know, 70s night, basically. And I know they weren't stoked about that. Because actually that same night I was in Tampa. Combat Wounded Veteran was playing a show in Tampa that we were all at. And then we drove over to the Earth Crisis show afterwards. But it was after everything had happened. There was cops outside. It was crazy. It was a scene, to say the least.
Yeah.
So, you know, it all happened. We get the story mostly from Matt and John, what happened. And I think the next week we practiced in Orlando at my parents' house, and we decided we were going to write a song and rip off the Firestorm riff. And we did, and some people were not stoked about it.
When you release that song, do you get a lot of hate mail or threats? Like, what's the deal?
So it came out on the 10-inch, the Revolution Summer 10-inch, and I feel like it maybe didn't pick up immediately just because it wasn't, it wasn't like a huge record. It wasn't out on Victory Records, but it got to a point where I think at one point we were told that, if we ever played Syracuse, we'd get stomped. We've had, I think it was Courage Crew.
Oh yeah.
Show up to a show before in like one of the first like Gainesville fests that basically told us if we played it, they were going to beat us up, and stood in the back with baseball bats. These like huge guys wanted to beat up, 5 scrawny straight edge vegan kids.
So I'm guessing you didn't play the song?
We did not. I thought so. For years, I thought we did, just because of bad memory.
Yeah.
And then somebody recently cleared it up for me because we did an interview after that show, and we had said that we didn't play it. But I feel like after that happened, we started playing it because we just to a point where like it's a fucking song. Like, give us a break.
Yeah.
So we would play it, but I think that was the extent of like the threatening or whatever. We never actually got beat up for it. I said it happened. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And I think the main thing about why Matt wrote the lyrics that he did, it was the biggest thing was these guys, these other, peers of ours basically wanted to fight us over some dumb shit when we had the same views, same message, same, we did the same fucking thing, just on a different scale. And to him, it was like, it really like they put a stain on like, being straight edge or vegan to him.